Diver.
TS class so boring, bro. What the hell is that?
That's Diver. If you main Diver, or at least like it, I only have one goal for this video. I'm here to teach you some stuff to hopefully make you play more like those high-ranked divers. All I'm asking from this video is that you already know the fundamentals of Diver. If not, then this guide is not for you. So let's start with the weaknesses of this class. Diver has insane collection potential late game, with the drawback of arguably horrible survivability. The main reason for this is that Diver only gets used ability once mid-air, only recharging when you hit the floor or a boost object, meaning Diver doesn't have a safety net for certain situations, most notably with Kelowna. This requires you to actually think about micromanaging your dives, as unlike most classes, Diver doesn't really have a way to recover from the void other than the dive, and doesn't really have any way to dodge that isn't also a dive. Here's a question. In a vacuum, which movement option would be the least beneficial when you need to dodge enemies vertically? Quick dropping, grappling, gliding, or diving? Probably the horizontal dive that can potentially send you into a telefragger if you do it wrong. This is what I think is one of Diver's main weaknesses, having his kit revolve mostly around horizontal burst movement, without having much vertical movement other than shark tail and double jumps. Diver also has the weakness of not having much utility for crossing large gaps, usually requiring you to use up your dives or use grind rails, which if you mess up on those, I think you know what might happen. Either you die or lose a shield to an enemy, or straight up just fall into the void. Although it's frustrating to have any of those happen, I personally think it shouldn't be changed, because it's a good and sometimes funny balance for this class, with their collection and movement being responsive and fast, but you can die in a really humiliating way for making a single mistake. Should definitely be able to tell when you have a dive or not though. I think that's an actual problem. When it comes to Kelowna, I think there's a pretty common mistake with it, where people use their dive as soon as Kelowna hits your number, and then immediately cancels it, which sometimes ends up getting you hit even if you think you timed it right. So just to be safe, wait around half a second before using your ability on the number. If you don't have an issue with this, then good for you. Let's start with B-hopping. Okay, not that B-hop. B-hopping is as simple as using your dive and cancelling it as quickly as possible by jumping. If you do this correctly, it'll look like you just did a quick dash. Compare this to Grappler's B-hop and it definitely seems simpler. B-hopping is a staple of Diver's movement, as most quick movement around the map revolves around this. This will also be your main way of collection, as B-hopping is way faster than just diving and waiting to touch the ground before cancelling. Mistime your B-hop and you might just end up diving or B-hopping above the gifts, which happens less and less the more gift magnets you have. Shark tail boosting is where right after you use your shark tail during a dive, you press jump. For some reason, this essentially acts as a dive cancel, propelling you forwards a bit, unlike the normal shark tail that just sends you up without any initial forward momentum. If you want to do this quickly without needing to be fast with your keybinds, you can simply alternate between your main and alternate ability keybinds. So for a shark tail boost with a powered dive, it requires you to do this, while the main dive would need this. Use the powered dive for height, use the main dive for a boost without needing to use a double jump. Redirection is another thing you should learn, though I don't know if it's even considered a tech. Essentially, you dive into a boost object, which are jump pads, grapple points, and trio orbs, and dive immediately after. You can use this to basically chain dives to quickly gain speed and move around the map a tiny bit quicker. I call it redirection because you can redirect your dives in a different direction, which is a lot easier with Matrix because of its instant turning. This helps out a lot with getting across the map. It allows you to dodge in certain situations. It is somewhat risky because you can miss the boost object by either undershooting or overshooting. And if you do, you're probably dead unless there's platforms underneath. Mastering Diver's movement is as simple as honing your ability to do the techs, especially b-hopping. You should learn to b-hop with alt ability, as well as build muscle memory and intuition with your dives. Learn to understand the timings you need to dive into a boost object, know how far your dive sends you, and know when to cancel with S or use your shark tail, and so on and so forth. Diver is a decently high skill ceiling, I would say, mostly from the techs and fast movement. Other things include basic mechanics in the game, like grind rail momentum. You should learn how to control your grind rail momentum well, starting by gaining your momentum via dive or b-hop, and controlling your speed to land safely onto the ground. Note that jump pads, grapple points, and trio orbs do not reset your momentum, and you can redirect your momentum by shark tailing or diving a different direction. Once you hone your techs, integrate them efficiently in runs. You can tell you're starting to use them efficiently when you start to b-hop more often, do redirections, use shark tail boosting with shark tail interchangeably, abuse grind wheel momentum, but most importantly, your collection. Now that you know how to maximize your movement, as well as the techs and weaknesses you need to watch out for, gift collection is the only thing now that you have to think about. Diver's gift collection heavily relies on your dives for collection. A primary example of this is Miniature Hourglass, which buffs your collection range with Power Dive by 1.25 times. This range buff allows you to collect much farther, with the main examples being collecting above and far to the side. Okay, quick note, I do want to mention that in the next content update, this range buff will be further buffed to 1.5 times. The range buff will also apply to regular dives as opposed to just the powered one. It will also buff the gift magnets for Diver, giving you 0.8 studs for each magnet, unlike the 0.5 you get currently. However, they will be nerfing it as well, with the range buffs decaying after you cancel your dives. Alright, let's keep going. Since the buff allows you to collect above and farther to the side of gifts, this makes collecting with trip mines a lot easier. And if you're planning on maximizing collection, you'll want to learn to control your dives. You are able to learn this early on with a regular b-hop. By delaying your dive cancel slightly, you are able to b-hop over a trip mine while also collecting gifts. But usually this makes you miss gifts right in front of the trip mine until you get around 2 gift magnets. Learn to control your power dives too. Cut corners and abuse your range buff to collect gifts that go into a turn. While doing b-hops, you are also able to press your directional keys after cancelling to make your character face a different direction, which is basically only worth doing with Matrix. The point of this is to stop Telefragger from appearing in front of where the gifts are, as well as to slow you down for better control. If you want a really good example of good dive control, just watch a Div1 video with Diver in it. I really don't think it gets any better than that. When it comes to celestial runs, divers won't have a hard time as long as you can dodge pretty well with dives. Before I talk about the boss itself, let's quickly discuss what I have to say for pylons. Pylons is arguably the best way to practice dodging via dives. At least that's how I learned to do it. Dive dodges are as simple as diving to whatever direction the attacks aren't in. But if you want to go further in depth, dive dodging requires a bit of spatial awareness. What I mean is, rather than just focusing on the enemies, look for your exit route specifically. This is something I learned from playing bullet hell games like Terraria. Instead of panicking and focusing on where the attacks are coming from, focus on your routing through the current attack and move to a different spot. Now, on to Celestial the boss itself. There already exists a video about all the attacks. I'll just go over the ways to minimize phase 1 RG and how to dodge with divers specifically. Fall is pretty simple. B-hopping should allow you to collect and dodge at the same time. Be careful when walking in a straight line though. Shark tail up or dive out of the way if it ends up aiming straight at you. For pizza cutters, do dive dodges. Helps out a lot, and make sure to be outside of the range if it's the server side variant, or you might end up getting sniped by the edge of it. With the implosions, read if you have a safe path. Shark tail up or blossom if you don't. Where the phase 1 crumbles and bitter, keep moving until it's about to actually attack, so that you don't end up a sitting duck, and it makes sure that you have more space to find safe spots. Don't know if that works for everyone, but personally it works for me. Cease. I think this is pretty common knowledge, but just shark tail up for the lasers and move out of the middle. You can also use dive dodges to deal with it. Just make sure you don't dive into the lasers or the big circle in the middle. For bitter, from what I can tell, it's best not to move too much, as well as stay around the same level as Celestial or just around where the first laser shot out, so that the lasers end up aiming around one spot instead of being varied when you try to dodge. This will definitely help in not getting hit by the middle of it. Try to memorize the attack pattern, most notably sub-phase 2 or phase 1.5 as I've heard some people call it. This will help out a lot in dodging and planning your next move. Trust me on that. Now that we're done with everything else, I want to give some extra general tips with dealing with certain enemies, and for your movement. First off, don't power dive if you know or feel that it'll send you off the map, since even if you can get back onto the platform, you'll have to spend time, even if just a bit, to recover back up to the ground. Which if you're trying to collect as fast as possible, I feel like just walking or doing a regular B-hop would work better. Be wary of telefraggers. Just a general tip. If you're in the middle of a dive and you feel or hear that telefragger is about to appear, just shark tail or cancel your dive with S. It's not worth risking a lost shield or death just to make it to a different platform faster. And it's on you if you weren't ready for it to happen. Again, learn to dodge with dives. This is something that will help out a lot with survivability, but definitely takes a bit of skill to learn. Lastly, don't be afraid to miss gifts, especially if you have enemies on you. Remember, survival over gifts. You can always loop back to collect if you missed one. If you're planning on getting good with Diver, your main focus should be learning to maximize movement, then maximize your gift collection last. Diver takes a bit of time to learn, but it's pretty worth the time. Hopefully this guide helps you with improving with Diver, and feel free to comment thoughts on this video, as well as things I missed. Like, please do, I don't interact with this community. This is literally only my second ever video with a script. I haven't tried making serious videos until the Metal Guide, which I will admit has quite a lot of flaws, especially in the script and research, which again, I'm not active in the community, so the meta with curse is not something I really know. Someone teach me. Hopefully this one does have some improvements, and constructive criticism would be very much appreciated. Anyways, enjoy learning Diver, and goodbye.